All right, so get ready, because today we are going deep on one of boxing's most iconic figures, Mike Tyson. Now, I know what you're thinking. You think you know Iron Mike, right? The knockouts, the ferocious power, the baddest man on the planet. But trust me, there's so much more to his story than just the punches. We're going way beyond the headlines and those highlight reels to really explore the complexities of the man behind the gloves.
It really is a story of just incredible highs and lows. I mean, imagine becoming the youngest heavyweight champion ever at just 20 years old. It's a feat that, honestly, it's still mind-blowing today. But his life has also been just riddled with controversy, personal struggles, and then a journey of self-discovery that's, I think, as captivating as any championship fight.
Absolutely. And to really grasp the scope of his journey, I think we have to rewind all the way back to the beginning. Because his childhood, let's just say it wasn't exactly a walk in the park. We're talking Brownsville, Brooklyn, a place where survival itself is a fight.
Yeah, picture a young Mike Tyson navigating a world of poverty and violence. It was a harsh reality that really shaped his outlook on life, both in and out of the ring. This wasn't a kid who learned to fight in the gym. This is a kid who learned to fight on the streets.
It's almost like stepping into a Martin Scorsese film, those gritty streets, the constant struggle. It's no wonder he developed that tough exterior. But then enters Cus D'Amato. Not just a boxing coach, but a mentor, almost a father figure who saw something special in this troubled kid.
Yeah, D'Amato's influence on Tyson is undeniable. He didn't just teach him how to box. He instilled in him a unique fighting style, a blend of raw power and incredible speed. Think of it as a perfectly engineered machine designed to deliver devastating blows. That killer instinct everyone talks about. D'Amato honed that too.
And that killer instinct, combined with D'Amato's training, turned Tyson into a phenomenon. Heavyweight champion of the world at just 20. I mean, can you believe that? To achieve that level of dominance at such a young age, it's unheard of.
Yeah, it was like watching a force of nature unleashed in the ring. Remember his early fights. Opponents were terrified. They simply couldn't withstand his relentless assault. Take his fight against Trevor Berbick. Just a brutal knockout in the second round that cemented Tyson's status as the undisputed king of the heavyweight division.
Oh, I remember watching that fight. Berbick was a former champion himself, but he was completely outmatched. It was almost like Tyson was moving at a different speed.
Exactly. Tyson's style was built on overwhelming his opponents with a combination of speed and power. He was incredibly agile for a heavyweight, able to bob and weave slip punches and then unleash those devastating combinations. He was a master of the peekaboo style, using his gloves to protect his face while looking for an opening to attack.
It's amazing to think about the level of skill and discipline it takes to achieve that kind of mastery, especially at such a young age.
And let's not forget the psychological aspect. Tyson's presence in the ring was intimidating. The intensity in his eyes, the aura of raw power, it was enough to make even the most seasoned fighters crumble. He was a master of mental warfare.
So you have this young kid plucked from the streets, turned into a champion, a global icon. The fame, the fortune, the pressure. It must have been overwhelming. Can you even fathom what that was like?
It was a pressure cooker, for sure.
Yeah.
And as Tyson's fame grew, so did the cracks in his facade. The intensity that made him a champion in the ring also contributed to his troubles outside of it.
And this is where things take a dark turn. In 1992, he was convicted on rape charges and sentenced to prison. It was a devastating blow that brought his meteoric rise to a screeching halt. It seemed like the baddest man on the planet had finally met his match.
Yeah, it was a fall from grace that shocked the world. I mean, prison, for a lot of people, that's the end of the road. But for Mike Tyson, it became a crucible, a period of intense introspection.
Absolutely. He could have easily drowned in despair, become consumed by bitterness. But instead, something unexpected happened. He turned to books, seeking solace and wisdom in the writings of, philosophers, revolutionaries, spiritual leaders.
He devoured the works of Malcolm X, read Tolstoy's War and Peace, and immersed himself in the teachings of Islam. This wasn't just about passing time. It was a quest for understanding. For meaning.
Right. Imagine him in a prison cell, surrounded by concrete walls and steel bars, but his mind traveling through centuries and continents, exploring different ideologies, different ways of seeing the world. It's quite a powerful image.
Yeah, it was during those years that he began to confront his demons, to grapple with the anger and rage that had fueled his rise, but also contributed to his downfall. He emerged from prison a changed man, not necessarily reformed, but definitely transformed.
And in 1995, he stepped back into the ring, ready to reclaim his throne. The comeback was electric. Remember the fight against Frank Bruno? That was pure Tyson, the ferocious energy, the lightning-fast jabs. It was like watching a caged tiger released.
Yeah, but this time there was a difference. The raw power was still there, but it was tempered by a newfound sense of control, a more calculated approach. The wild, untamed beast had evolved. But could he maintain that control outside the ring?
That's the question that lingered, right? The controversies didn't disappear overnight. But even with the setbacks, Tyson kept fighting both literally and metaphorically. He won some, he lost some, but he never gave up.
Right. And then came the infamous 1997 fight against Evander Holyfield. The bite fight, as it came to be known. It was a moment of sheer madness, an act of primal aggression that shocked the world, and further cemented Tyson's image as a villain.
Well, people often focus on the bite itself, but it's crucial to understand the context. The fight was brutal, a clash of titans, and there's a theory that Tyson was frustrated by what he perceived as headbutts from Holyfield.
Right, and it doesn't justify the bite, but it adds another layer to the story. It was a chaotic fight fueled by frustration and maybe a touch of desperation. The pressure to reclaim his title, the weight of expectations, it all culminated in that moment of madness.
It's fascinating how a single incident can define a person in the public eye. Even someone as complex as Mike Tyson. He went from being the baddest man on the planet to the most hated man in boxing practically overnight.
Yeah, it was a fall from grace, a public spectacle that tarnished his legacy. But even then, Tyson refused to disappear into the shadows. He kept fighting, battling his demons. And eventually he found a new way to connect with the world, a way to share his story on his own terms.
And that's where his podcast, Hot Boxing with Mike Tyson, comes in. It's more than just a boxing podcast. It's a platform for him to explore his thoughts, his experiences, and his journey of self-discovery.
Yeah, it's raw, it's unfiltered.
Yeah.
And it's surprisingly insightful. He talks about everything from spirituality and philosophy to his past struggles with addiction and his relationship with Customato.
There's a vulnerability there that you don't see in many celebrity podcasts. He's not afraid to be honest even about his darkest moments.
Yeah, it's like he's peeled back the layers and really let people see the man behind the myth.
It is.
And what's so fascinating is the range of guests he has on his show. Everyone from athletes and comedians to scientists and spiritual gurus. Right, it's a testament to his curiosity, his desire to just learn and grow. He's not afraid to ask tough questions, to challenge his own beliefs, and engage in meaningful conversations.
Absolutely. And speaking of challenging himself, let's talk about his return to the ring in 2020. At 50 years old, he fought Roy Jones Jr. in an exhibition match that captured the world's imagination.
It was more than just a fight. It was a statement. Mike Tyson showing the world that age is just a number, that the warrior spirit never truly dies.
Think about the discipline it takes to train at that age, to push your body to the limit. It's inspiring.
It is.
I remember watching that fight, and even though it was an exhibition, you could feel the energy, the passion. It was clear that Tyson wasn't just going through the motions. He was genuinely invested in the challenge.
And that's what resonated with people. It wasn't about winning or losing. It was about pushing boundaries.
Yeah.
About proving that you can always rise above your past, reinvent yourself, and chase new dreams.
So where does this leave us? We started this deep dive with the image of the ferocious boxer Iron Mike, the knockout artist. But we've uncovered so much more. A complex individual, a man who has faced adversity, made mistakes, and ultimately has shown a capacity for growth and change that's truly remarkable.
I think Mike Tyson's story is a powerful reminder that life isn't about avoiding falls, but about how you pick yourself up. It's about confronting your weaknesses, learning from your mistakes, and striving to be better.
He's become an unlikely role model, proving that even the baddest man on the planet can evolve, embrace vulnerability, and find redemption. His story is a testament to the resilience of the human spirit, the power of self-reflection, and the possibility of second chances.
And maybe, just maybe, it teaches us that we shouldn't be so quick to judge, to label people based on their past. Because, as Mike Tyson has shown us, even the most ferocious warrior can transform into a thoughtful, introspective individual.
It's a powerful message to end on. So as we wrap up this deep dive into the life of Mike Tyson, we're left with a lot to ponder. It's a story that goes far beyond boxing, a story about resilience, redemption, and the enduring power of the human spirit. Thanks for joining us on this incredible journey.